Ohio Republican U.S. Senator Bernie Moreno wants to end dual citizenship in the United States. Moreno is proposing the Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025 that would effectively ban dual citizenship, as he points to loyalty interests for bringing up this idea. Senator Moreno joins me here now. Now, Senator, you said that one of the greatest honors of your life was when you became an American citizen. Is that the idea that made you want to bring this bill up to change things?
Well, the idea is to elevate what it means to be an American citizen. Look, unfortunately, over the last few decades, we've continued to erode what it really means to love and honor this country. And in the naturalization process, which can't happen until you're 18 years old, which is when I did it, you swear allegiance only to the United States of America. But unfortunately, we don't ask them, the people getting naturalized, to renounce their former citizenship. So that's what my bill does. It says, hey, look, you've pledged allegiance only to America. That exists today. But now we're asking you to formally renounce your prior citizenship. I think that's common sense. I think if you asked the average person in Northeast Ohio whether they think that that's the way it should work, I think people would say yes.
But America is known as the free land. It's a melting pot. What if professionals and immigrants want or need to keep that connection to another country for either ease of travel or to do business effectively?
Well, first of all, ease of travel. There's no easier way to travel than with the United States passport. The United States passport is the best passport in the world. It gives you protections from the United States of America should anything happen to you. So when people travel, they travel with the U.S. passport. When you come back into the country, it's a lot easier to come in with a U.S. passport. And again, you've asked as a person getting naturalized to become a U.S. citizen, and you actually pledge allegiance only to the United States of America. This completes the final check, which is to say, as a result of this naturalization process, I will not have a citizenship in my prior country. I think that's common sense.
In the bill, if someone does not denounce their dual citizenship within a year of enactment, they will automatically be considered to have relinquished their U.S. citizenship. Could you explain the process, what that might look like?
So if somebody's going through the naturalization process in which they swear an oath only to be faithful to the United States, pledge allegiance only to the United States of America, and our bill goes through and fixes the loophole and says, hey, you must also renounce your U.S. citizenship. If the person doesn't do that, well, then you lied to become a U.S. citizen, and the repercussions are pretty straightforward. You lied to become a citizen, therefore you unwind that process.
And while I have you here, Senator, do you believe that the lawmakers returning to the Hill after they've had their break are going to be able to pass a health care plan?
Sure. Well, let's be clear. So since Obamacare, since Obamacare passed, the price of health insurance has gone up 221%. 221% in 11 years. It is the single biggest driver of affordability, of this affordability crisis that the Democrats put us in. So what we're saying is, let's fix that. Let's actually pass legislation, which again, we need Democrat support to do it, to actually make healthcare affordable. They're hyper-focused on these Biden-Obamacare COVID bonuses that were as a result of the COVID emergency that they set to expire at the end of this year. So they've made this about the entirety of healthcare, which is not true. It only affects about 6% of people who get healthcare in this country. We want to fix it for everybody, but I'm willing to say, okay, let's fix it. The mess that you caused, let's extend those Biden, Obamacare, COVID subsidies for 1 or 2 or 3 years, but let's do it with some common sense reform.
All right, Senator Moreno, thank you for taking the time to join us here at 5.
Thank you.